we're going to use this handout to see how the Coase theorem works. So the key ideas for the Coase theorem is that we are always going to get the efficient outcome. We may see a transaction where one side, the winners compensate the losers. And that may seem like it would be really hard to work that out, but we have an assumption of costless negotiations. So here we have Smith has a factory and could produce without a filter and make $2.45 a week, or with a filter $200 a week. So the filter is hurting Smith by $45. Jones lives nearby and the pollution is hurting Jones, and the cost is $85 a week without the filter. With the filter it's only $35 a week. So there's a gain of $50 from Smith using the filter. And so you can see that overall there's a gain of 5 if they would go to the filter. Another way to look at it is to look at their joint position. So we have a plus 245 for Smith, a minus 85 for Jones. So together it's a gain of 160 when Smith operates without a filter. Whereas here we have a plus 200 and a minus 35, so 165 if Smith operates with the filter. So this is the better situation. This is the efficient outcome. As a pair, they're better off with Smith using the filter with 165 compared to the 160. The thing is, even though they're better off as a pair, they're not better off individually. Okay, Jones is better off, but Smith is worse off. So if Smith is not required to use the filter, what the Coase theorem tells us is Smith is still going to use the filter, because Jones is going to pay. Somewhere between 45 and 50. And that will make them both better off. So let's say it's $46. He's going to give up some of his gain of having a filter in place. He's going to give up $46 of it and only be $4 better off, but still better off. And then Smith is, only going to make $200 from the factory, but is now going to make a $46 from being paid to put that filter in. So the $246 is better than the $245, and the $81 is better than the, or let's see, it's going to be a loss of, negative 81 instead of negative 85. That's still better, right? Because it's negative 35 from the pollution and negative 46 from the payoff. So in order to make both individuals in the pair better off, they had to make that deal. And they can do it because they can negotiate without any cost. Now, if Jones has a right to clean air and Smith is required to use the filter, then Smith will use the filter. And there's no discussion or no transaction required. They're already at the best outcome, and so there's no motivation to do anything to alter that. I mean, Smith would, it's like, well, I wonder if I could pay him to not use the filter. No, I don't, my gain is not big enough to compensate for his loss of going without the filter, so they just stay there. In the second scenario, you see I've changed one number, so the filter still helps Jones, but not as much. So we still have this negative 45 for the filter for Smith, but now it's only a plus 20. So now it's better for them to not have the filter. Having the filter is a gain of 135, whereas no filter is a gain of 160. So we really want to see this no filter happen. This is where they're both better off. This is the efficient scenario. But how are we going to see that happen? Well, if Smith is not required to use the filter, then he doesn't use the filter. if Smith is required to use the filter, he's still not going to use the filter. In this situation, he's going to pay Jones something between 20 and 45 to skip the filter. All right, he's saying, well, we're here, and I'd like to get to here, because that would be a $45 gain for me. I know it's a $20 cost to you, so how about if I give you 25, and then instead of being at negative 85, you'll be at negative 60. So you're better off than if I kept that filter. And I'm better off because instead of being at 245, I'm at 220, right? So it's 245 from producing, and then $25 shifted over to Jones. So the 220 is better than the 200, the negative 60 is better than the negative 65. And they've just redistributed the gains and losses so they both gain, and we're here at this best outcome. And that's how the Coase theorem works. We're always going to get the efficient outcome because whoever is going to gain is going to compensate the person who loses. And because it's a better outcome, they're going to be able to compensate. There's going to be enough of a surplus to be able to redistribute it and have both of them better off. And we're always going to end up in that better situation, regardless of which way it went and what the kind of original scenario was. You know, if the rules are pointing you away from the efficient one, then you're going to have to make a deal. If the rules are pointing you to that efficient situation, then you're kind of good and you don't need to do that. But in any case, we're always coming to the efficient outcome.